All right. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? But what's going on, everybody? Buckeye Nation. What's poppin'? Crazy Dog. Coming at you once again on the Buckin' Crazy YouTube channel. And just like that, the spring game is over. Yep. Spring practices are done with. Spring game is over. And now we really won't see or hear much from this team. We won't see them on the field again, I'm pretty sure, until the summertime. And by that time, we're going to have some more new faces joining us. As, of course, a lot of the players couldn't participate in this stuff because either their school doesn't allow them to graduate early from high school, or most commonly, they play two sports. They play a spring sport or a winter sport. But in this stream, I'm going to give my thoughts on what I saw today. And I'll say this. A lot of good, some bad. I mean, it's spring, First time on the field for a lot of these guys in like 4 months, right? A lot of these kids haven't been on the field in a college atmosphere like that at all. Because, of course, a lot of these kids are coming from smaller schools, not really the powerhouses like Chaminade Madonna. That school is all over the national scene. So Jeremiah, those guys, the top tier recruits, they're used to this stuff. Like, imagine you're a kid from like a small town. You're like one of the premier kids at your school. Ohio State offers you commit. And imagine just walking into the shoe today. And keep in mind, it's a spring game. We had 80,000 people there. Beautiful day in Columbus, by the way. Beautiful day. But, like, a lot of those kids, this is their first time really being in that kind of atmosphere. And just wait what it'll be like. Wait and see what it'll be like come week 1 against Akron. And all I'm going to say is, after watching this game, Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall, oh boy. They're going to be in for it. That's for sure. Of course, my selfish ass was kind of hoping they would at least have one play where they threw it deep to Jeremiah. But Ryan Day said himself they weren't going to, play a lot of Jeremiah. They were going to take it easy with him. They don't want to run him ragged out there. It would have been cool, though, to see him get a deep ball one time. Because we've been seeing it during practice. I wanted to see it in a game. But hey, it is what it is. So as you saw by the thumbnail, the offense, Team Scarlet, beat Team Gray, a.k.a. the defense, 34-33, despite the fact that they threw, 3 interceptions and 2 would have been pick sixes. And people are going to be surprised that our defense looked fantastic. I mean, of course it's going to look fantastic. We returned pretty much everybody of note. I mean, the only guys that left, Tommy, of course, Michael Hall, and I think there was a few others, and that's only because their eligibility's up. Right? We didn't really have anybody that left with eligibility that played a lot. And of course, they got the damn sun glare. Oh, man, you gotta love it. I mean, I guess you could say our future's so bright, right? Shining in here. All I'm gonna say is, if we squander this class right here, okay? This team, we do nothing again. Ryan Day is going to be, as I would say, under investigation for fraud. Because ain't no way you have this good of a team. Everybody's back. You added I guess 7. I didn't even know Velasquez transferred from the team up north, but he did. Did right under my nose. I was like, yo, who's Velasquez? I looked him up and said, oh. Yeah, I was looking up the transfer portal and I saw Velasquez pop up. I'm like, yo, since when did that happen? Yeah, he was like one of those later guys. Okay, cool. But if Ryan Day squanders this team, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah, Will Howard, who looked great, mind you, he looked good. Could tell he's the veteran of the group. Took care of the ball. And by the way, Chip Kelly, man, that is weird. If you would have told me last year, right, following the team up north loss, if you would have came up to me and said, don't worry, dude, next year, the Buckeyes are going to have Will Howard at quarterback. Jeremiah Smith's going to be receiving. Like, pretty much everybody of note is back. Minus a few guys, of course, because eligibility. Although I know if Michael Hall and Tommy could return, they probably would. And you also bring in Chip Kelly to be the OC. And, yeah, you would add a couple more pieces, too. Quinshawn Judkins. Didn't see much of him, but didn't expect to see much. I do know that if this was a real game, offense probably would have scored like 50 points. Because, of course, they were blowing plays dead, and it's like, yep, that would have been a touchdown. 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 There was like 4 would-be touchdowns that they were halted because they blew the whistle. It was essentially a two-hand touch. But I'd rather have them do that than have these guys go out here tackling each other and they wind up hurting each other. That's all we'd need. We already don't even have Brandon Ennis because he got hurt. Thank God it's only spring. And thank God we have depth. Oh, man. I'm trying to keep my freaking head out of the damn sun. Oh, my God. But as you would expect, right? Game's over. You go on Twitter, even during the game. I didn't see much of it during the game because I really wasn't paying attention. I was kind of paying half attention to the Guardians, who looked like booty for most of the game, and the spring game. And as you'd expect, the ops were on here judging us, right? Who's the ops? Who do you think? Team Up North? And for some reason, well, obviously, Team Up North, the U, and the 2 SEC teams that we poached guys from, Ole Miss and Alabama. Mainly the U and Team Up North fans. Yeah. On Twitter, freaking judging us. What you'd expect, because they're scared. They're scared. Now what's going to be funny is next week when the Team Up North has their spring game, nobody's even going to care. Oh, man, but that's the way it is, right? They coming on here talking about, oh, that's why they let Saban let him go. That's why they let Saban leave, because he's ass. No, he's not. I'm going to just be like this, let them talk their crap, but come late November when we face the Team Up North and we smoke them again, yeah, they're going to be like, oh, that was just, we're just going to be like, that was just a spring game. Obviously, we're not going to go all out, in a spring game. I cannot wait for week 1 to see this offense unleashed. Because this offense is going to be very hard to stop. It's just really funny that people were actually surprised that our defense looked fantastic out there. Well, of course they do. Of course they look good. We had a top 5 defense in the nation last year, and we brought back damn near everybody. Like, come on now. What do you expect? Not to mention, we added some pieces. Mainly Caleb Downs. Like, we got Caleb Downs, man. That's crazy. Caleb Downs is patrolling our secondary with Davison Igbinosun, who looked phenomenal. Pumping down guys left and right. And Denzel Burke. People on Twitter calling Denzel Burke ass because Jeremiah Smith's making unreal catches in practice. Well, that's Jeremiah Smith. He's damn near unguardable. Not to mention, there's this term called iron sharpens iron. Denzel's going to get better because he's facing Jeremiah. I mean, Denzel is without a doubt a top 5-ish corner in the league. And, yeah. I mean, it's Jeremiah Smith. What do you expect? The dude was doing that to freaking little kids last year. Now he's out here freaking making crazy plays. But I think the craziest play of the day was Emeka Egbuka reaching out one hand, catching the pass. Like, this dude went out and snatched it out of the air. Like nothing. Like he's done it before. It's like, okay, Emeka. I see you. Okay. Yep. Now, the only touchdowns that were scored by the offense were by guys that you probably have never heard of. I believe Sam Williams-Dixon got in the end zone. Schramm. Yeah, I mean, okay. Nobody of note got in the end zone. Although the defense did have essentially 2 pick sixes on Lincoln and I believe Devin Brown. I couldn't tell who the other one was, but I know the one was on Lincoln. Yeah, of course they didn't count, but if they did, oh yeah, that would have been crazy. In a real game, those are pick sixes. Let's just be serious here. Now, of course, I did a video before the game talking about who I thought was the one commitment we're going to have today. Right? Talking about Nate Roberts, tight end out of Oklahoma. Good. Well, during the game, I saw that we had another commit. People were buzzing, right? Hang on, let me just do this real quick. Hang on. Gotta find it. I think I have it in my... Here it is, right here. So, during the game, Cody Haddad out of Cleveland, 3-star safety, former Wisconsin committed during the spring game. And I'm like, that's an interesting time to commit. But all right. And honestly, while I'm talking about that, I'm going to check and make sure nobody else committed. Because how funny would it be if I'm out here blabbing my mouth only to have another kid commit? Because that's the way they are, right? They can commit at any time. I mean, the spring game just ended. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a commit or two the rest of the day. I'm literally checking Twitter right now. And, like, again, there's a freaking Team Up North fan talking about QB struggling. Shut up. But I'm going to get into my thoughts on the game, what I liked, and all that other wonderful stuff here in a second. Just checking Twitter, making sure nothing happened while I'm over here blabbing off. I don't want to miss a commitment or something big happening. There's quite a few guys in attendance, too. There was like 20 plus commits there. Anthony Rogers received an offer from Ohio State. That's dope. Cool. We got Team Up North fans comparing, I guess, food. A USC fan shared an image of what looks like a school lunch. Talking about recruits visiting Ohio State for their spring game today are being served this for lunch. A banana, chicken nugs, and whatever that is. And then Team Up North fan comments on it. But let's forget last year. For their little big visit day I think they had. Every team has one of those. It's like during the spring and summer. They gave their commits a 5-star food combo thing, I guess, like a platter, of hot dog, chicken tenders, mac and cheese that looks like it came out of a can, and a cookie. That's what they offered at their little, I guess, recruit day. Or like where kids that they go to visit. Ohio State had like, is that like sushi or something? Damn, sushi. Wonder when that was. Wow. All right. Madden Farema was in town, I guess. We should have been. With that being said, as soon as I get my eyes off Twitter, just to make sure that everything is good. Okay. All right, we're all set with that. I'll check back after I'm done streaming here. All right. So, getting into my thoughts on this game. All right. I'm going to talk about what I liked. Not as much as about what I disliked, because there really wasn't much. The only thing I didn't really like was how our offensive line played. And, I mean, that'll change. Again, this is the first time a lot of those guys have been on the field in a couple months. Controlled environment. They have a lot of time to get better. Now, the first thing that I liked, the QBs look good for the most part. Devin and Lincoln and Julian had his moments, but he looked solid. But Will Howard, I think, looked the best. Yeah, in my opinion, he looked the best. All right, number 2. Defense is going to be nasty again. Like I said, they returned everybody that they had last year, or mostly everybody. They lost only a few players, and that's, again, only because they ran out of eligibility. But luckily for Ohio State, they don't rebuild, they simply reload. And let's consider that clip reloaded completely. Full-on arsenal heading into this season, and I cannot wait. Number 3, this team is going to be very tough to beat. I mean, already we were very tough to beat. But just imagine an offense that starts humming. You know, I mean, we have an OC now, an actual one that'll be calling plays, and Chip Kelly, which means Ryan Day can focus on actually coaching the team. So I just got to remind myself that if this offense looks kind of stinky, don't be calling for Ryan Day's head, but instead call for Chip Kelly to be fired, because he's the one calling the plays. But yeah, it might take a couple weeks to really get going. But luckily for us, we got to play mighty Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if in that Akron game we see at least 3 quarterbacks play. That's only because we're going to be stomping on their freaking faces so hard. By the 4th quarter, it's going to be freaking like Lincoln or Devin in the game. Well, whoever starts is probably only going to play a half in that game. Or Maya's probably going to have like 4 touchdowns. The way he's been looking, nobody's going to be able to guard him. I mean, are you going to double cover Jeremiah? Or are you going to risk getting cooked, in the slot by a Mecca? Or Brandon Ennis? Or Parnell Tate? Huh? Are you going to double cover Jeremiah? You think that's a good idea? And let's not even forget, there's going to be other kids coming up too. I mean, Mylan Graham hasn't even stepped on campus yet, I'm pretty sure. Demarion Witten might be a low-key threat. And then, of course, you have G. Scott and Jelani Thurman at tight end. Don't sleep on those two, especially Jelani. Jelani is looking like a dog from what I've seen. I haven't seen a lot because, again, practices kind of closed off, and media isn't always there. They don't get everything. He looks good from what I've heard. Now, I was talking about commit watch before, but now that spring ball is over and that portal's opening up, it's time to go shopping for an O-lineman or 2, because we need it. O-line look kind of shaky. Not gonna lie. They look shaky again. Especially at one of the tackle spots. I don't know if I'm going to be able to live with Josh Simmons being our left tackle. I guess the good thing is I did not hear anything about the center, so that's good. Because we had, what's-his-face, the new guy in at center. His name escapes me again, but I don't really care. Yeah. Didn't have any problems snapping the ball. right? And I guess the best thing is, if you don't say his name, that means he did good. Preston Hinsman was at right guard. He looked, I guess, okay. Again, didn't really hear his name too much. Again, thank God. It's always a good thing when you don't have to yell at your old lineman because they missed an assignment or something. Means they did good. Now, if I had to rank the quarterbacks after spring ball, I would probably say Will Howard's number one, Julian number two. I'll say Devin's number three, Lincoln's number four, and because I didn't really see him much, Aaron Nolan's number five because he didn't really play much. But we'll see how they do come summer break and summer camps. Once summer practices start up and the whole roster's there, they're probably going to add and lose some pieces in the portal. But yeah, it's almost time to go shopping again. We'll see what they address in the spring portal. And then, of course, we got more commits coming up, too. Possibly. I wouldn't be shocked if we had another one today, the way things are going. Yeah, going over 20 minutes, so that's pretty much going to do it for this one. Keeping this nice and short and sweet for y'all. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll be live on the main channel, of course. Crazy Dog Sports for Guardians and Yankees in a few hours. And then tomorrow, I will be live for Cavs and Hornets, because that's actually a big game. The Cavs can actually win their division with a win and a Bucks loss to the Magic. So, full Magic. But we're in the playoffs. That's all that matters right now. But we can still win our division, which is insane. But overall thoughts, this team is looking solid. Now let's just have a good, safe summer break and get to see these guys back on the field real soon. But that's all I got. So, as always, I'm Crazy Dog coming at you on the Buckin' Crazy YouTube channel. And we'll see what else happens. So with that being said, go Bucks. OH. I'm out. Bye-bye.